Good morning friends, I'm making today this Sussex Seamstress Hamsey skirt, and this is the second video to match my first video last week where we made the new look blouse. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description box. It turned out beautiful. So we're making this Hamsey skirt to match this. This pattern is really lovely. I'll show you the picture here, and as I've probably said in the last video, but you might not have seen it, it's by Sussex Seamstress. It's the Hamsey skirt, and it's a drop waist with side buttons down and a little bit of a gathering, which I thought was really pretty style, and it sort of heads back to sort of 1990s really. And what it said inside is it's a calf length skirt with a shaped waistband for comfort. The soft gathers add fullness at the hem, and the button fastening to the side with a deep split shows off your pins, or if you'd rather not, just add poppers or top stitch close to give a fake opening. It's light and compact enough to fold up and pop in your hand luggage or suitcase. Pair with a top, which I'm going to do, and sandals for holiday sightseeing. Pop a cardigan over the top for summer evenings and drinks outside. So that's a lovely little description. And this is what you get with indie patterns, a bit more personal, don't you? The skill level says confident beginner. The fabric requirements for this, for 115 centimetres, you've got 2.3 metres. And for 150 centimetres wide, you've got 2 metres. The suggested fabrics are chambray, light denim, light cotton or wool mixes, linen or viscose, and the notions you need are interfacing 50 centimetres, 4 2cm buttons and threads. The UK sizing and approximate finish measurements are given on the bottom of the instructions as well. We've got a symbols glossary, fabric preparation and seam allowances. Light is right side, dark is the wrong side, and then all your full instructions. It looks like it's pretty quick and easy pattern, which I will like. And we're going to work our way through it. The fabric and at the back suggested cutting layout. I've already cut mine out the other day. I've made it slightly longer, just a little tiny bit longer because I'm tall, as you know. And I may well put a frill in this coordinating fabric and extend it on the bottom with a little bit of a frill. I will see how long this turns out and what it looks like when it's actually finished. I don't want to be showing off my pins at my age, as they say. So we will sort that side opening out to make it look like an opening, so it will be a fake, or the modern term is faux opening. And obviously, if you can see that lovely blouse in the background, a skirt with this and maybe a little bit of something on here will bring it all together very nicely, won't it? So we'll start with this. We have got the skirt cut one to fold in the back piece. We have got the back yoke cut one on the fold. We've got the front left yoke cut one. We've got the right front yoke cut one. We've got the right front waistband cut one pair, and we need one interfacing, so I'll do that after. Left front waistband cut one pair in fabric and one interfacing, I'll do that as well. Waistband back cut 2 fabric on the fold, which we've done, and cut 1 interfacing on the fold, so we need to do that. And then this piece we've got is a skirt left front, I've done that a little bit longer, same. And this bit here is skirt right front cut 1 on the fold. They are the pattern pieces. We'll sort this out in a moment and then we'll go back to the instruction. And if you're wondering what I'm wearing, this is one of my lovely dresses, which were Merchant & Mills dresses that I made with a big puff sleeve, and it's turned out really lovely, and I've got a video on that. It was a duvet cover I got, so one side of the duvet cover was this and the other side of the duvet cover was this. So I made it into a really, really lovely dress. So I'd wear that today. And so I'll also put a link somewhere, hopefully, for this if you want to have a look at that video, or scroll back on my videos where I make lots and lots of clothes out of tablecloths and duvet covers, sheets, things like that, curtains, which is often thrifted or bought very reasonably in a sale. And it's a great way of getting a lot of fabric, because fabric is very expensive these days, isn't it? So let's crack on. This was a duvet cover as well, surprise, surprise. This was a tablecloth, you know, so I've combined them both, and I'm really pleased with that lovely new look blouse with the ties, which are all the rage this season, aren't they? So we're going to crack on. Let's have a look at the first instructions and see what we do first. So, number 1, the seam allowance is 1 centimetre, and that's included for all seams unless otherwise stated. Number 1 says iron 5 centimetre strips of interfacing onto the front yoke button stands, the wrong side, and overlock or zigzag at the edge. Fold back the interfaced ends 5 centimetres onto the wrong sides of the yokes and press. So I need to cut that interfacing out and get on with that. So we'll do that first, and then number 2 is place the left front yoke and the right front yoke onto the back yoke, right sides together. Stitch the side seams as shown and overlock or zigzag to finish the side seam allowance. So you're doing that top yoke bit first, and you put in obviously all your fronts together, and then you'll put the fronts onto the backs and sew them up. So we'll sort that out, and then you iron all the interfacing onto the under waistband pieces. So you get onto the waistband after. So we'll do the yokes, and I'll get back to you when I've done that. Right, so we've got the left front yoke, and on the pattern piece you'll see the line there, which I think is going to be like a self-grown placket, or where the buttons will go in the future. So we need to fold the front yoke back on itself, and then put some interfacing in there for that part. Right, so on that left front yoke, I folded back that section and just put some interfacing on it. So that's your left one. Right, same again for the right front yoke. You've got your little parts there that you fold and put interfacing on. So let's do that one as well. So we've done that on the left front, and we've done that on the right front yoke as well. So what I've done is I've taken the back yoke, and then I've put the left front yoke at the side seams and interfaced the 5 centimetre strip that will be folded back. And then we've got the right front yoke we're going to sew at the side seams, and that has also got the interfaced flap that we folded back, which is 5 centimetres. And I'm going to sew the back 2 side seams now, and then they will fold over on themselves and have a grown on button placket. And then number 3, iron the interfacing onto the under waistband pieces, placing the top non-interface waistband front left and front right onto the waistband back, right sides together, and stitch your side seams as shown. Press the seams open. So we're going to go on to the waistband now, which will then be attached to this front yoke. Right then friends, so on number 6 it says place the top and the under waistbands right sides together, pin and stitch the top edge. So I've put the interfaced side right sides together with the waistband sides that are not interfaced, and I've sewn them on the top edge, and then I've cut little nodules out every few centimetres around. And what that does is when you press the sides out, it gives you some movement, you know, and it doesn't all bulk together. So I'm going to get the iron back on, press the seam allowance towards the under interfaced waistband, and stitch through all the layers very close to the edge, and they call that understitching. And then fold the waistband along the stitched seam and press. And this is the diagram that shows that. So in effect we've made double-faced waistband, and we will press it now, and we'll get a very nice thick waistband that'll be sturdy because we've got that interfacing in. Okay, so I'm going to just iron it so it's the right side up, and then we will progress to the next section, which I presume will be something to do with the skirt, I would think. Pin the non-interface waistband to the yoke right sides together, matching the seams. Ensure the front yoke button stands are folded back 5 cm and that the waistband overhangs by 1 cm. Stitch the top waistband to the yoke. Press the seam allowance up towards the waistband, and I'll show you that next stage shortly. So what I've done is I've pressed the interfacing edge down, and on the right side you want to do a small stitch very close to the seam on the interface side, about 1 centimetre in from the end all the way down. And what that will do is they have a nice edge. When you press it back, there'll be a really defined crisp edge there, and it'll look really nice when it's on the waistband. It'll strengthen it a bit as well. Right, this is actually beginning to look a bit like a waistband now and a yoke. So I've done that and I've turned it back on itself. We've done the edges and ironed it down flat. So that's kind of where we're at the moment with the yoke and the waistband. I'll just go over what I've done. The proper instructions: pin non-interface waistband to the yoke, right sides together, matching the seams. Ensure your front yoke button stands are folded back those 5 cm and that the waistband overhung up the side by 1 cm. And I stitched the top waistband to the yoke and I press the seam allowances up towards the waistband, folding under the waistband over the top waistband. Right sides together, making the waistband inside out, stitching the ends of the waistband as shown. So that bit that actually sticks out, you go from the top to the bottom and just turn it over like that. Clip all the excess away and then turn it inside out like that. Press it nice and neat, and then you've got your edges on the underside. And then clip and grade your seam allowances to reduce your bulk as well, and then turn it in the correct way. Sink the stitch along the seam between the waistband and the yoke on the right side together. Sink stitch over the existing seam. Stitch in the ditch. Stitch in the ditch. Waistband yoke right side. So number 11 is sink stitch along the seam between the waistband and the yoke on the right side of the fabric. Place your skirt front left and skirt front right onto the skirt back with right sides together. Pin stitch the side seams at the left and the right. Overlock them to finish, or zigzag them to finish the seam and press to one side. So we'll do that now. So get the top, and we've got a central seam down there. And what I like to do on that centre seam is just put a pin in it, so if I need it in the next stage, I'm alright. And then we've got the right side front, put one. So the right side front, we will just pin them all together at the seams. And remember, we've got a side area where the button goes down, so we'll have to make sure if it's just at the yoke or it extends into the skirt, which I would think it does. So we won't sew up the seam totally, we'll just pin them just pin them to get them right at the moment. And then we want skirt left front, and here we've got that flap on this side. Did I get another one and I've not looked? Let's have a look. Oh yes, I've got that as well on that other side. So we want to get that flap sorted, which is a 5 centimetre flap. So let's measure that and then press that. So we need to do the same on this front section as well. So let's get this bit measured as well. So that's going to be your left front, and that will go at this side. Right, I'm just going to pin that loosely at the seam, and then we'll just anything when we read the instructions. So you've got the back on the back, you've got the front left, and then you've got the right front. So place a skirt from the left, place skirt front left and skirt front right onto the skirt back, right your sides together, pin and stitch the side seams at the left and the right, overlock them and press to one side. And then you want to iron 5 centimetres of interfacing onto the wrong side of the front skirt edges as indicated by the lines on the pattern. Overlock or zigzag the interfaced edges to neaten, then fold the interfaced area over 5 centimetres onto the wrong side of the fabric and press. Right then, so I've just interfaced those 5 centimetre turn backs and I'm just going to zigzag them and then iron them back. Right then, so what I'm going to do now is press all the seams, press the front, and then I'll unpick the gather stitch out, and then we'll go on to the next section. I think it says to press the gather seam up. So I've got a lot of, because I did gather stitches every quarter of the width of the skirt, I've got quite a lot of hanging cords here. I see these people with these overlockers and I think, oh, it really neatens it off, isn't it, when you've got a proper overlocker machine. I think an overlocking machine in a new dressmaking dummy would be perfect. I think that's the things that I'd like to win or save up for. Right then, so what we've done there, so we've done the waistband and we've put it onto the yoke. We've put the yoke onto the gathers, matching them up at all the seams. I've done quarter stitches. I've gather stitched 4 lots of different separate gathers so I can sort of evenly gather it up, not force the stitches so that it snaps. And then I've amended it as I go along, making sure it's equal and sewn it all on. Now I've just turned up 1 centimetre and sewn the hem all the way around and just pressed it. So we're literally now, I've got the whole of the skirt, it's being hemmed. We've got 2 neat edges that are all open. So now we have to sort out the buttons on the skirt, which will be sewn on. It says 4 buttons, but you could do as many as you want. And we're going to have to do buttonholes now to attach the sides. I'm very pleased with it. So let's do this section now. Right, so here is the skirt. And this is where it wraps around. And all that is open, of course. And it's looking nice. And instead of doing buttons, I've come up with a nice sort of hike or cheat or whatever you want to call it. I've made out of this corresponding fabric ties, and I thought that's going to really pull it in and coordinate with the blouse. So let me just get the blouse and show you what I mean. Right, so this is the blouse, just to remind you, and this is obviously the skirt. Okay. And I've got a little bit of gathering stitch just round here to pull out as well. So what I thought, this is this fabric, and we've got these ties, haven't we, on the front of the blouse. I could do the same sort of thing and not do buttonholes, because I don't think I've got a buttonhole attachment for my sewing machine, so that's going to cost me a lot of money to even get one, and I thought I'm not going to bother with that. So I thought, why not make ties and then put one tie here, so one on this side. I'm thinking, you know, like a typical tartan skirt, you'd have leather straps. So we've got one here and then one on the back part of the skirt, and then bring them together and tie them up. You know, you have one there, probably one there, and then one at the bottom of here. This is going to really bring it in and match this part, the blouse. So I thought that's great. And then I don't know about this part. I know the person who's created this skirt said that they can keep this open, but I don't think I want to do with that. So I might actually get one of those lovely pins like they have on a tartan skirt and just put a pin in it, or a pretty brooch. I shall see. But that's basically what I'm going to do with this skirt. So it'll be a wraparound with ties, 1, 2, 3, and I've made 6 of these, and all I've done is I've cut a rectangle of fabric as long as you think you need, and then fold both sides onto themselves and stitch, and then fold it and iron it and then stitch it again. So it's just like so. You could make a long tube like we did for this one and then turn it inside out, but I thought when it's a little, you want it kind of a little one for a skirt, not as big and bold as this. So that's why I've done this. It's very, very hard to do these tubes on a very narrow one like this. It's really hard. So that's what I'm up to at the moment. Right then, guys. So what I've done now is I've fitted it round myself, and I've marked out where the ties will be on the top of the skirt, and then on the corresponding side I've again marked them. I'm going to sew them down, and then I'll get them overlapping themselves backwards, and then that'll be the tie. You can put a knot on it at the end, finish it off how you want. I'm making this much tighter than on me at the moment because I've put weight on. So that's where we are so far, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish it off, sew it up, and I'll try them both on. I'll show you the skirt and the top as well. If you've not watched this video on the blouse, you want to see that as well, I'll put a link in the video. It was my last video that I did. So I'm just going to finish this off, and then I'll do a try on for you. So here's the reveal. I'm going to show you the skirt first. So this is the skirt. I am really pleased with it. We've got nice little ties, you know, at the side, and yeah, it's lovely. I like it. It's a nice sort of nice length. Let's get back so I hope you can see it. There's the skirt. I'm trying to go on my tip-top so I can see it all. It's come out really nice. Really pleased with it. Nice at the side with the ties. I've put ties on so you know it all pulls together. Whoops. And you can tie them up as tight or as loose as you want to. I've just loosely tied them together for the purpose. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Come out really pretty. Really nice. And then this is the blouse, which I think I might have shown you in the previous video. And it goes lovely. They've got ties down. This has got the opposite coordinating ties. So you could use it as a jacket. But I think for the outfit it's turned out really lovely. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a really nice pattern. Reminds me of a St 1990s. But you could have it like this for a, you know, an idea for a wedding, of course. So I'm really pleased with it, and yeah, I might just put a pin on the bottom, or like a tartan thing to keep it all together so it doesn't flow, because I think if it's windy, you know, it'll flop open a little bit, and when you get to my end, you don't want to show everything. You could put a belt round, but as I say, this pattern is quite a full blouse anyway. And there's your ties, 1, 2, 3 down. And that's the whole outfit as well. So I'll just pop a link in. Thank you very much for, if you've watched both of my videos, thank you so much. I hope you like it. If you've not subscribed, please like and subscribe and join me as I go through my fabric stash, upcycling, making things, baking things, sewing. If there's anything that you like and you want me to try, give it, let me know, and I'll maybe make a video out of it. Don't know if you're interested in my sewing kits. I've got lots of beautiful packs of sewing kits now available on my website. There'll be a link at the bottom as well. If you'd like to see videos on where I get my upcycling material from, I could do like a little vlog if you're interested in that as well. But at the end of the day, thanks for being here. See you again very, very soon. Bye for now.